All right, well, I guess we can go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Justin,
Jim.
and we are the Brothers Dim, and today we got you some more exciting weirdness, and I actually have no clue what we have going on today. It is Jim's turn for the presentation, and being busy with our lives and kids and families and such, we don't get a lot of time to go back and forth, so I have no clue what we have today, and I'm
Sure.
pretty excited.
Up to the secret thus far. I do have a couple of topics. Um, First, how's your week going?
It's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. A little busy here and there, but that's just life, you know.
For that, I've been it's been a lot of time watching some Bigfoot hunters on YouTube. Um,
Nice.
yeah, it's been fun. There's some that I believe are out for the clicks and the views, but legitimate ones out there. I enjoy watching those ones that are over the top or more exciting to watch, but I don't enjoy them as much.
You don't get the gratification of like that
Yeah,
could be real. Like yeah. You
too much
believe
of
that that could be me effect.
exactly. There's too much of that. Hey, did you see that? No, I didn't see nothing there.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of that out
Also, I heard watching another Bigfoot podcast one time, they were talking about like two different teams will go to one area to like hunt Bigfoot at the same time, and they'll do like the Bigfoot knocks. And then the other team will hear the Bigfoot knocks and like, holy shit, guys, that was Bigfoot. So they'll start knocking too, and they'll like be like, whoa, whoa, like doing the Bigfoot yell at each other. So I mean, stuff like that is pretty silly, but I genuinely feel like we have enough real evidence of some sort of Bigfoot. As you can tell by me and Jim's choice of background here, our new logo, background ish, whatever you may call it. But yeah, we feel there is some sort of Bigfoot. So I'm very excited by the start of this conversation and see where this goes. So I'm gonna hand it over to you, brother Jim.
there. Right. Well, like I said, they call themselves Bigfoot hunters. That's right off the bat what I was wanting to touch on is hunters. Now, what do you? I would like to ask them, but I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
I don't have access to it. But
Right.
what do you believe they would do if they actually caught a Bigfoot?
I want to say what I want to say. No, I mean, I would. What sucks is they would probably kill it. That they would
Exactly.
probably kill it, which is a bummer because humans have a tendency to be like, "Oh, cool new thing, get the fucking spears, boys," you know. So
Well, that's exactly it. I had that here in my notes that you've seen, so you didn't know I was going to say that. We think alike. Obviously, we're brothers, but I noticed that a lot of them, like I said, they call themselves hunters, but they do carry guns. And I've heard multiple times from all different. Well, it's for protection from, and that's probably legit as well because there are like wild
yeah, I
things
mean
like that.
Bigfoot, but yeah, to an extent, it's it's like if a Bigfoot is charging at you, yes, yes. But then you hear the stories where they're like, "Hell yeah, I seen him walking through the woods, and I fucking tried to blow a hole through him."
Yep.
It's like, what did he do to you, bro? What are you gonna eat him? I mean, I'm all for killing whatever. If you were gonna eat it, if you were gonna, I mean, that's really it. If you're gonna eat it, if you're gonna use it for sustenance or something like that, if you're just gonna fucking put it on a wall, where you gonna stuff Bigfoot and keep it in your trailer or something?
That's true. That would be a highly pawnable item. Bring a stuffed Bigfoot to the
I
pawn
can see
shop.
that in town. I can see that in town for sure.
Sadly, I can't. Um, but that's exactly what I was going to say. Is they all carry, and I imagine if they saw one, even if their intentions were actually to shoot it, I think just out of fear, if they actually saw it, absolutely, that's going to be their instinct is going to put away.
Absolutely.
And so that's I kind of root against it. Even though Jim was like,
Yeah.
I hope they don't find it. 'Cause I don't want
No
that to happen.
kidding. No kidding. Watching the Bigfoot shows and rooting for Bigfoot
Right.
is, I mean, yeah. No, I completely get you on that. I've never considered it that way, but
Yeah, it's just in my mind's wandering. I'm watching these things. And I'm like thinking, But you know what the thing is, and I don't think they'll ever find one, and this is why. Because I thought, around here, Missouri, everybody's deer hunters and
Mm.
turkey and all these other things. I'm not, so I don't know a lot about it personally, but I know from looking and seeing other people. What's the first thing they do? They go into a blind or they go somewhere, they sit and they're quiet and they wait. Bigfoot hunters don't do that. They
No.
walk around, they stop, they yell, they knock shit. They're so I think deep down, even if they believe, they don't want to find.
Yeah.
So they're doing it wrong, obviously.
No, yeah, no, I think you're right. They're like, so we're gonna sneak up on him. He's like, I'm not fucking sneaking up on that. No, what we gotta do is we gotta knock on this tree with this baseball bat and get this air horn and yell, "Here, Bigfoot, Bigfoot." No, I think you're right on that. I honestly, dude, if I was out there hunting Bigfoot, and then like you get out there and you start like feeling the pressure, and I'd be like, "Hey Jim, I think we need to honk the horn several times, or I think we need to shoot the gun in the air and yell, please don't rip my limbs off." They're attracted to that.
Exactly. Like, what hunters go out there and stomping around and yelling and shit?
Yeah,
It makes
for
no
real.
sense.
The
It
most
really doesn't.
elusive creature to
Exactly.
find, one you've never found, and you're doing everything against your instincts as a hunter.
Exactly. So I'm like, these are not real hunters. I'd say, honestly, the closest thing I've seen is when they put up trail cams. And honestly, that's some of the best
Yeah.
proof they've gotten is
I
off
mean,
trail cams.
yeah, that's
That's because they sit there
and
quietly.
especially because that's more of proof hunting, you know. And
Exactly.
also, I mean, our discussion last week about things of like interdimensional things like that.
Hmm.
If something is that intelligent, then they can probably sense like intention. And if they hear these guys hooting and hollering around, and they
Yeah.
got all guns, and they're like going around every tree, like Bigfoot's like, I'm not fucking hopping out the portal in front of these rigs right now, you know. Not to say he would hop out in front of me though, because I would just shit myself. I don't think he'd want to be around me for that. So
They're highly intelligent. They know to avoid that. They don't want
easily
to see that.
scared. Yeah. Yeah, no, he'd be like, yeah, that guy's a pussy, dude. I'm not going through that portal, dude.
Even wolves and all that, they can sense things. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
Yeah,
Bigfoot would be
that's
able
a
to
good.
sense.
I was thinking it was. Yeah, that's a good point. Even
Wild animals, yeah.
animals that are on the earth that we know of can sense things like fear and stuff. So
And these are supposed to be highly intelligent. Who knows what they can.
that's a very good point.
Yeah, so that was one thing that's been taking a lot of my time lately is watching a lot of. Like I said, they are entertaining. I won't lie.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I think stuff like oh, what's it called? The Confessionals, Tony Merkel. I want to watch his stuff on Dogman. They're
Hmm.
behind a paywall, but I don't think it's much, and I think it's worth it, especially because they go to places. It's gonna slip my mind, but like out in the desert, the ranches where you can go and camp and like
Yes.
see the UFOs and like
Mm.
dogmen and stuff like that. Like, fuck that. Dude, I listen. Fuck that. All right. I don't. I get so nervous if a normal sized dog is walking down my fucking street, dude. I stiffen up. If there's a like Doberman or like a Great Dane walking down my street, dude, I am like sweating. Okay, if I see a dog man, a bipedal fucking pharaoh dog man walking down my street, I'm done for. I'm
Yeah,
done for. So
I think I'm with you on that.
I'm not going camping or quote unquote hunting or anything where any of those are. And it's my adventurous spirit is like, yeah, Jim, let's go do that shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But then like, what the fuck happens when we see it?
That's
What are we gonna
exactly.
do? I'm not gonna be the one to shoot it. And even if it runs at me, I'm not gonna be the one to shoot it. I'll
No.
drop that gun, dude.
Right.
Fuck that. I'll throw the gun at it. I would throw the gun at it. I swear to God, I would swing it at it like a baseball bat. I would not think to shoot the gun at all.
Hopefully the man portion doesn't have opposable thumbs and shoot you back.
He's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, oh, my bad, Bigfoot. I didn't know you were chill like that, dude.
um, that's good. The dog man is something else they mention a lot on those, and I don't have a lot of knowledge about that. I mean,
So there's stories of like the dog man being with Bigfoot, and the debate is, would he be subservient to him like a man and his dog? But there's also more negative encounters with the dog and positive encounters with Bigfoot. So some people feel like they're two different entities with two different intentions. But at the same time, if you're if you got a big bad fucking Rottweiler, you're gonna send him in to go wreck shit. If you don't need to, why would you? You know, maybe it's like in their dimension, whatever you want to call it, whatever, you know, their place. They're just like wild dogs, and maybe some Bigfoot have just, you know, captured some of them or whatever, domesticated, quote unquote. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So who knows? Maybe it's a base by base thing, or maybe, you know, neither of them are real. Maybe we're just maybe we fell for it. You know what I'm saying?
you're right. It could be.
That's the craziest part is you know, we hear so much shit about this, and so many people say the same thing, to where
Yeah,
it's really hard to be like it's completely fake through all these cultures. I mean, the fucking
yeah,
pharaohs carved this shit into rock, dude.
right.
And people with dog heads and just shit like that. But it's hard. There's got to be a seed of truth somewhere.
Yeah, and a lot of times they say
Somewhere.
somewhere between what fiction and truth lies the truth, or
Yeah.
fiction and reality lies the truth. That's what it is. So somewhere between the two, there's got to be, yeah, like you said, there's got to be some truth in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's, you know, and asking conspiracy theorists, we like to take the extreme route. Some of us like to take the super extreme route, and some of us try
Right.
to be more rational. And the truth is usually somewhere in the middle of those two things.
Absolutely.
So even if it's something where Dogman is like just an entity, a bunch of people happen to see when they're in the sleep state. Why are all these people in the sleep state seeing the exact
Right.
same thing? That would suggest that they're all in the same place, or the entity can bounce in between you know what I'm saying?
That's
And
so
maybe
true. And
it could be, and the argument could be like, well, now it's in the media, so people heard about it, but what about in the fucking past when it wasn't in the
yeah,
media? You know what I'm saying? And people are
absolutely.
explaining it like the original explanations of like chupacabra and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just anything. A lot from around the world goes back to just like dog-headed thing, or
Right.
Bigfoot, the big bipedal ape face, whatever, human face, ape, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? All cultures have this sort of thing, so it's just.
Absolutely. And I love that you mentioned that everybody's seeing the same thing. And I don't want to stray too far off the dog. I do want to come back to
Hmm.
for you, but um, the the weird thing I find also is there's I don't know if you've heard about Michael. I'd love to do a show about it. But individual named Michael shows up in people's dreams, and he's always over some form of water, whether it's ice or lake or ocean, and it's spanning. All these different people are calling to the
Like,
shows.
is it the one where there was like posters and it's like, have you seen this man in your dreams or whatever? And he's got like a
I think so.
unibrow.
Oh, I don't know about the
No,
unibrow. I
maybe
don't
not.
know. I just know
Because I don't remember all the backstory involved with that one. That one seems like something I don't know.
well, that reminds me of there's AI. People were generating.
Oh, Loab or whatever,
Yeah, she was
right?
showing up in all
Creepy.
these different.
Dude, when I've been generating these AI pictures for
Yeah.
our thumbnails and stuff, shout out to the Holosky boys, because they talked
Yes,
about this. We fucking love those dudes,
love
by the
them.
way. They were a big inspiration for us.
Absolutely.
Um, I was fucking spooked, dude.
I
I was
know.
genuinely spooked that I was gonna come across some shit like that. Luckily,
Absolutely.
I only looked at the picture once because I was spooked out, so
Yeah, I
I don't
never
quite
even.
remember it. So
I never did look
even
at
if I
it.
did see it, I'd be like, anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, it's all good. I guess I'm safe on that, of course.
Yeah, so far, so far. Um, but yeah, it's funny though how many people have the same reports, and it's just like you said earlier, it's got to be some truth in there somewhere. Something's going on. Um, but anyway, like I said, I would like to do a future show on that. But I want to go back to the dog man. I said before I hadn't really heard much of it, but all of a sudden it dawned on me, and I looked it up as you were speaking a minute ago. There was a boy killed in Knott County, Kentucky. He was 13 years old. If I remember right, he was taking out the trash or something of that nature. He got attacked by what they call a canine-like creature, and that was by the Highway Patrol of Kentucky, or the state police, same thing, I believe, that made those reports, and they still say it's inconclusive what it was.
That's
Some canine attacked this
crazy.
13-year-old boy and killed him.
That's crazy. And I mean,
That's
like,
something.
a Rottweiler, not a, what's the word I'm looking for? Pit bull. Like
Pit
a
bull,
pit bull.
yeah.
You hear the stories of like with a 13-year-old
Yes.
boy. I mean, that's like a 6-year-old little girl or something.
Right.
You hear those stories, which are bad. Don't hear me wrong, but a lot of them are propaganda. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's fucking insane,
It
dude.
is.
And I mean, Kentucky, you said?
Yeah, it happened
Kentucky
in
is
Knox County, Kentucky.
100% where you hear a lot of the stories about dogman and shit like that. Kentucky and Tennessee area and shit. And I guess, I mean, fuck, that puts us right around around there. So,
yeah, part of Missouri touches
well,
Kentucky. We're
yeah,
very close.
I am never going outside again.
I know, it's terrifying. It really
Fuck
is.
that, dude.
13-year-old. Yeah, you can read the whole story.
I mean, between all the spooky shit that happens in the woods here and the fucked up shit the government does in St. Louis and shit like that in Chicago, and we're fucked. You know what I'm saying? God.
Oh, we were in the middle of it all. You're not killed by a dog man, you're killed by a shooting.
Yeah, no kidding. Or the crazy car chase that I saw on my way to Jim's house. Some two civilians bumping and bashing into each other. Just casual in a nicer part of town, I would say. Pretty cool. Yeah, go back to Walmart parking lot for all that.
Exactly.
Gosh, you hooligans.
Where they belong. But no, go back. So Dogman. I was gonna ask you, what do you think that's somewhere in the Skinwalker?
That's a good question. I think. I mean, maybe. I don't know, dude. I don't know because that suggests that I could change back. You know what I'm saying? But then again, like, who knows? It absolutely could. I don't know. Who says that Dogman doesn't change back to something? And Skinwalker, I mean, to maybe people like me and you, or well, I guess not me and you, maybe people like our coworkers, our Facebook, or maybe it's our YouTube. One of our bios is conversations that would make your coworkers uncomfortable. So,
yeah.
you know, Skinwalker, it would be one of those. But if you were to speak to Native American people, that shit is real life to them. There's no question about it. And so, I mean, yeah, it could be something. And if it's not exactly that, it could be something of that nature. Somebody maybe trying to recreate it, or maybe one that just goes wrong somehow, or do something like that, because I feel like the Skinwalkers don't end up being as aggressive as some of these dogman attacks, but I could be wrong on that 100%.
Point. Last thing I had on the dogman, I wanted to ask you, what characteristics, based on descriptions?
So, dog head. That's it. No, I'm just
kidding.
Yeah. They're about 2 foot tall. No, apparently they're really tall. They're lanky limbs, skinny black limbs. It's like a Slender Man-ish type being. You know, is this the from what I've heard the descriptions, but like when you like see it, it's like really lean and like buff, muscular. How the same descriptions as like Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like if you were to see it far away, it's like really like skinny like that.
Yeah.
But it's like fucking huge, apparently. Like stands like when it's up on its back feet, like 12 feet tall in some stories and shit like that. So
I did not expect that. Honestly,
big
that'd
guy.
be a hairier beast.
No, it seems to be not
interesting.
It like not no hair, but not long hair, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of hard to explain, like a Doberman, how their hair is just enough to be there, you know what I'm saying, to create a coat basically. But that's the descriptions I've heard. I've never heard of like a super furry dog man or anything like a fat one.
Yeah, I've wondered about that. I would assume like a ripped clothes, wearing ripped shorts.
Turned into shorts. He's got fucking cargo jorts on.
Yeah. All
He's
ripped
got
out.
this super like 80s movie ripped shirt, pecs hanging out of it and shit. That's what I want my dog, man. When he comes to kill me, I want mine to look 80s movie like.
With all 6 nipples,
He's got like every other one pierced.
Zigzag.
Oh, that's tough.
That's frightening.
Yeah,
Absolutely frightening.
we're talking bad on
Yeah.
Dogman's name.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Mock the Dogman. Check that off here.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I can piss off tonight.
Lock doors tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we kind of touched on this a minute ago. Well, you did actually. I love that because I got this in my notes here.
Nice.
We talked about believers and all that stuff. Again, I drive for a living, so I think a lot when I'm driving. Something I was thinking today in prep for the show is there's so many people that believe in the supernatural. There's so many people that believe in religion. So I was kind of thinking about them merging and how they merge what they have.
Absolutely, I think about that often.
You do, okay. I was thinking, why do people believe in religion?
Oh, the same person.
I know.
I swear
crazy,
we're the same person.
So you didn't read my notes, so I'm like, huh,
I'm telling you, that's so crazy.
It is really crazy. Religion. I was thinking, why do people believe in religion? Well, obviously, I think it serves, it gives life meaning.
Absolutely.
People are reassured of life after death, and it provides basis for morals and behaviors. Those are based off just cursory look on Google. That's what.
Right.
But supernatural belief really provides none of that. So why are there so many believers? And that's what I was saying. That you say so many people have the same experiences. Why do so many people believe in the supernatural? And there are a lot. I have that.
So I think, why do people? So when I was a teenager, I used to say this super edgy thing that I thought was super cool. I used to say religion was human solution to being scared of becoming worm food, basically. Like, they're scared of death, so they're like, how could I avoid that? And it's like, well, I ascend. Here's what I think I've grown out of, because it's weird, because without having any sort of like out of body ascension trip or anything like that, I feel like I myself have felt myself ascend like one rail, one ring up, and that alone has like awakened me to realize that there's more than that. So with that being said, I think other people feel the same way. There's been things in their life that they can't explain, and when they look to normal conventional answers, they just get turned away or mocked or laughed at. But then they look back all these years, for years people have been saying, this is the answer, if this happens, this is why, this happens, this is why. So I think that could be it. Now, on the topic of mixing religion and the paranormal like that, so I hear this thrown around a lot, that everything really is perspective, 100%. So if you're a serf, you've never read the Bible, you've only gone to this building and had somebody read you their summary of the Bible, give you their summary, which usually includes putting them pretty high on the pedestal, okay? And you see a fucking UFO come down. You are like, dude, that guy on Sunday tells me about that every day, or every Sunday he tells me about that fucking thing coming down from the stars right now. So you're like, that's an angel, that's Gabriel. And the alien comes out and he's just like, I'm Gabriel. Yeah. Or maybe it's something like that, or maybe it's like, I don't know, or maybe they came in. And there's also like a story of like when humans got involved, coming into last week's conversation, when humans got involved with nuclear explosions and shit, and we started really fucking with things, because when you split an atom, you're fucking with more than our 3 dimensions. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, we gotta go babysit these fucking kids. So maybe the things that people were seeing come out of the sky in the past and what we're seeing come out of the sky right now are 2 different things. So I think that's the question. Are they coming from the sky? Maybe we just, I mean, when we see them, they come from the sky, but maybe are they based from the sky? Are we 100% positive on that? I mean, there's a lot of interpretations. One of my best friends at Ben, he has we talk about biblical conversations, stuff like that a lot, and he was talking about like the whole like my father has many mansions or blah blah blah. He's like, that is not, you know what I'm saying? That is the interpretation is supposed to be like or the way he views it, not what it's supposed to be. The way he views it is that the absence of the material puts you away from the earth, and when you're away from the earth, when you ascend out of your body, you're in the heavens. And
Right.
that your home is everywhere. The many mansions is because it covers everything. It's the entire world. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you exist. You're back in God's grace or whatever. He explains it more. Again, I'm not a super religious person. I'm spiritual in my own way, doing my own thing. But so it's a big discussion of aliens and again after Big Daddy Government, Uncle Sam came in and was like, yeah, they're extraterrestrial. And now I'm definitely like, yeah, fuck you. Okay, these are
Right.
something else. You're hiding something. Like something. So, if an angel were to come down and tell me he's Gabriel, I can't say I wouldn't 100% be like, all right, Gabe, so maybe that if I fucking get all of us killed and nobody raptured because of me, because actual Gabriel comes down and I'm like, the fuck out of here, gray alien. He's like, JC, kill these guys, dude. Send that fucking eternal nuke, bro. Fucking.
So
Yeah,
you want to apologize to everybody now on the podcast, or if there's any survivors?
Yeah, my bad.
My
My bad. Come on.
That's the official response. My bad. Oops. Um. Well, I looked up in talking about the religion and the paranormal and all that. I just thought this was fun and interesting time. Um, decided to make a little game out of it. I'm gonna ask you, how many Americans today in 2023 do you believe in God? This is all age groups.
Percentage or
Percentage.
percentage? I put it at 47.
74 believe in some form of
74
God.
in some form of God. Wow, Americans.
Americans. Yes.
Wow.
Americans. Now in contrast, you got some paranormal here. How many do you believe? Ghosts.
Oh, that's got to be high. If you believe, well, I don't know, because I guess not. I hear so many contradicting things on that.
Yeah, and the thing
I'm going to
is,
say 63.
it's near 50.
Near 50.
50%. That was a thing. You can look at different sources and get pretty different numbers. Too.
Yeah.
But I'm going off Gallup and CNN and pretty reputable sources. Now, where they got their numbers, I don't know.
Yeah.
But how many believe? How many do you think believe in skeletons?
Skeletons?
That was a joke.
I was the fun. That is not a. I'm pretty sure.
Scary, 100%. Yes,
like spooky, scary skeletons.
Spooky, scary.
Open up the closet and jump scary skeletons.
I'd throw something in there and throw you like
what? Hopefully, all Americans believe in skeletons.
I hope so. No, but in actuality, aliens. I have 2 more here. Aliens. What do you?
Aliens. That one's got to be lower. I'm gonna go back to the 40s.
This is in 2021, so this is before all the government disclosure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's probably gone up since then. I would imagine
it had to. Everybody licks the boot, so
exactly.
If Uncle Sam said it, they believe it.
As of 2021, July.
I'm gonna say 47%. 65%.
And this is something we kind of touched on earlier: afterlife, heaven. how many Americans? It doesn't have a year on it, but this is you, White Gallup.
I'm gonna say 74%.
Oh, 75. Still
75.
working
Damn, I
with
was
God,
finally
bro. Yeah.
close. I'll take it.
So you
I'll
believe in
take it.
God, you believe in the afterlife.
I was pretty fucking far on the rest.
No, they were just out there, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Some of those
That's
numbers.
an interesting one because I feel like a lot of Christians don't believe in ghosts because, like, you're supposed to go somewhere right after you die.
Right.
But
yeah,
I don't know, because then a lot of, like, if they, like, hear some ghost shit, they're like, Jesus, I'm praying for you. And it's like,
right.
You said he not supposed to leave that motherfucker there, bro. You need to call someone else.
Well, you got the Holy Ghost.
Ghostbusters. Exactly.
The Holy Ghost, the same
no
thing?
kidding.
I don't know.
No kidding. And, I have a question for you, actually. I heard somebody talking about that people who follow the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost thing, that is not monotheism. That is technically three separate deities that you are worshiping.
Oh, really?
What is your opinion on that? Because I mean, they technically boils down to one thing, but I mean the Son is separate. The Father is the masculine. That's the SUN, I guess it would be. You know what I'm saying? The masculine, the Earth. The what is it? The Father, Son,
the Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit is the feminine, right? That is supposed to be like the Earth and things like that, right? Or is the masculine the Earth or something? No, because it's Mother Earth.
Mother Earth, exactly.
So it would be the feminine. Right?
It is. You're right, and I've heard that too, and I don't know, but I really don't believe that necessarily.
You wouldn't call it.
I think they're all.
Yeah, you would. It would still. Yeah, even somebody who's not in that, I feel like it would be kind of a stretch to.
I had the best description of that I've ever heard, or the best response to that. From a documentary I watched a while back, and it was a Jesus, someone who depicted Jesus play, and it was funny because someone came up to him kind of jokingly, and his response was, "It's similar to water becoming steam, becoming ice. It's one thing, but it's in three different forms.
It just goes through three different stages.
Exactly.
I mean, that could be three different stages of ascension, like we were just talking about. From the earth, plants grow from dead shit from the earth or whatever. You come up, and when they go, I guess they just turn back into dead shit. I'm sure something goes up into the air. There's something they give out, oxygen, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess that makes sense. That is pretty cool. That is a good answer to that.
And just touching on that too, someone said something. Even animals know faith, the intelligence that humans do. Maybe birds, the parents will push them out of it.
Are they, dude? They're just like, I'm tired of the squeaking.
Exactly. That's faith. That's knowing that you're going to push them out and they can fly. That the air, they'll be able to flap their wings. It's like the sunflower turns its head towards the sun in faith that
it'll catch the sun rays.
Exactly. Yeah, we have the similar faith. Last thing on that, I was to say, you say believe in it. I think I was the same way when I was confidence. I used to tell God is confidence. If you confidence, you can do anything, you can do whatever. People say, "Oh, it's God." I don't. Now I barely even know what that means. So sure of it.
All right.
The interesting thing I heard about. I have my struggles. Skeptic on it. It's the cross I bear, I guess you could say, is that I am a skeptic. I envy people that don't question, blindly believe, and never look back. Wish I was like that.
Honestly, you're not supposed to do that, dude. Even in, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
I won't go for long. No. But you are supposed to question, even in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't question, you don't have a full, in-depth conversation or comprehension of the topic. If you're just going along because the guy up top said it, you're not supposed to do that. You're not creating a real relationship. So I mean, questioning and getting the real answers and finding out. I mean, even if you don't 100% believe in everything that your church or whatever believes in, if you still feel like you're going in and you're doing something better and that's where you connect best with what you feel your source is, and so be it, you know?
I do believe best life I. But I know that watch something. So I don't even know where this came from, but everybody's trying to prove God in all these different ways and all these complicated quantum physics and all this stuff. I heard one person say it's a mathematical problem. 1 plus 1, 2. 0 plus 1 is can't make something out of something has to be.
Mm.
And I thought, wow.
And well, have you ever heard of the God particle? The God particle. They're searching for the God particle. It's like the first particle. When I think of when I think of source, it's like people have this idea of like sky daddy type thing, big
Mm-hmm.
Zeus looking guy in the sky. I'm not so sure if that's the case. I don't. It's weird for me because like when they say God is everywhere, God is everything. I don't know if I think that is like the God particle. You know what I'm saying? And it is like not a tool in a crude way, but God is the divine spark that was given to us, that particle. You know what I'm saying? That
Mm-hmm.
separates us. And so then the question is, are we doing these things that is told to us because we're trying to make someone happy so we can end up in their domain, or are we doing these things that are told to us because it's in our very foundation and we know that if we achieve these things by the time we leave this like flesh and blood, this material life, and go to the spiritual one, that we're done, that we did what we needed to do, because maybe like humans just have an emotional range that other things just don't have, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we're supposed to come here and suffer and fucking supposed to suck, you know what I'm saying? And we get it's how you answer to shit like that, and when you see things that you know are incorrect, how you answer to that, and what your response is to anything, you know what I'm saying? Or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, whatever you believe in. But maybe it's just not you trying to get somebody to open the door to heaven to you. Maybe heaven is just already there, but you have to be cleansed to be there. There's no gatekeeper. It's just you can't go in. You just can't even get there if you're not cleansed. You know what I'm saying? So that is my struggle. That's why I don't know if I'm fighting because I need somebody to open the door for me, or if I'm fighting because I need to be good enough to be able to open that door. But it's become overwhelmingly apparent to me that there is some fucking door that I need to be cleansed to be at. I need to be
Absolutely.
a decent person to be at this door. And, whatever happens at that door, so be it. We'll figure out when we get there, I guess.
Absolutely.
Or maybe, hopefully, what me and Jim want is through this podcast, maybe we'll change our minds. I mean, I'm sure last week I had a completely different opinion on fucking consciousness and
Right.
spirituality, so,
It's all about
the
growth.
water flows, man.
Got to be willing to change with it and take it as it is, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, man.
Now I do have a presentation. I did my homework this week.
Whoop, whoop.
I did my homework this week, and I have. We were talking about how so many people believe in supernatural and our beliefs on it. It turns out that a lot of celebrities out there also have supernatural beliefs and encounters. So today I compiled a little list of encounters from celebrities.
Right on. And by the way, just to say, your intro slide here, fucking terrifying. Appreciate that. Looks like one of those biblically accurate angels they talk about. I forget which one it is. Seraphim, maybe,
Yep,
or
I believe so.
the one with all the all the eyes and the Be not afraid. Yeah, fucking okay, buddy. Anyway, carry on. My bad.
I'm going for nightmare fuel here. I got all these from Travel Channel and USA Magazine or US Magazine. If you wanted to look in more into these, I didn't do any deep digging or anything. These are all out there, easy to find. But to start the slide, number one is Megan Fox. She believes there's a possible Bigfoot. She absolutely believes in aliens, and she's actually heard ghosts. She's encountered ghosts.
Okay.
She described an experience in Mexico City during which both her and her nanny, don't know if that means when she was a kid or if her
Like
for kids,
children's nanny.
Yeah, I don't really know, but her and her nanny, believe room service was in their hotel. Nobody there. 30 minutes later, actual hotel showed up.
No.
So,
no more living.
pretty scary.
Dude, I'm telling you, if Ghost Consuelo was cleaning my shit, I'd be so mad, dude. No more ghostly flesh.
I'd be okay with it. You can scrub my toilet anytime.
If you manifest yourself in the material realm just to clean a shitter, dude, that's on you. Yeah. That's on you. You're right, Jim.
Don't for small talk or nothing, just show up. Don't show up. Just clean it.
Don't even speak my language, preferably.
Yeah. So that was Megan Fox. That was kind of interesting. Now, the next one is Jerry. He did pop up a little bit. I had Bono, Sonny Bono, her husband, ex-husband, popping up behind her, and it was. But anyway,
it was the whole thing.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. This whole slide was messing up on me, so I was kind of proud that he just popped up behind her.
At least he's there, man.
He is. She believes that he visits her, Sonny Bono, her ex-husband, who died in '96.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Oh my god.
It was like a tragic death, yeah.
No shit.
I remember
skiing and hit a tree.
He was like a...
I'm not gonna laugh.
No, I know. He was a politician of some kind. Eminem has a whole thing about it. And of course, Eminem's
cartoony ass image of just like, bomb! Like...
Looney Tunes
Motherfucker.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. He hit a tree. So, I mean, it was a tragic death. But she says that he makes a light go on in the house that she built. So she knows that he knows the lights in that house, and so she believes it's him. And she says it's a totally peaceful thing, but he makes TMZ. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Another celebrity encounter out there. Everyone loves Keanu Reeves.
Keanu, my man.
Yes.
Not my man like that.
Okay.
Cool guy. Hold on, wait.
Supernatural and another one. Okay. He had ghost encounters. Funny enough, is also involved in me. But his was when he was a kid. He was 6 or 7. There was a doorway, and all of a sudden a jacket comes waving through the doorway, he says. The empty jacket, there is no body, there is no legs. It's just there, and then it disappears. He said he thought he was seeing things, and then he saw his nanny, and she was also spooked. So.
It's spooky. That is terrifying, but it does remind me of the SpongeBob episode when he has the fucking picture of a ghost hung up on
I know exactly what you
That's kind of a Letterman.
You know, go down a rabbit hole. Keanu Reeves is in one of the SpongeBob movies.
Is he?
He is.
That's pretty crazy,
so
dude.
Maybe he was some inspiration. No, I doubt it. But I'm looking too deep into it. That's a conspiracy theorist in me, I guess.
That is pretty crazy, though.
But yeah, I thought that was a pretty scary one. There's a couple on here that was like, oh, that kind of weirds me out. This one is Miley Cyrus.
Oh.
She this is actually one of them. She bought a house, or rented a house rather, in London with her family, her mother, sister, and her fiance Liam Hemsworth. So this is pretty recent. During the paranormal incident, something increased the water temperature while her sister was taking a shower, which, you know, that'll happen. But then Miley herself says she thought she'd seen a little boy sitting on the sink watching her take a shower.
Fuck that.
So she felt really freaked out, which what I assume.
Yeah.
She said, quote, I was sitting there and right next to me, maybe I'm crazy, but I could have sworn I seen this little boy sitting on the sink kicking his feet. The family quickly exited that hotel and went to another hotel.
Yeah,
Or,
fuck that. I
so
completely understand that. And that shit like that, I believe. I 100% believe. And if it's a ghost or maybe if it's like residual energy, maybe that kid sit and kicked his feet right there while his mom was taking a shower, something innocent like that. Maybe, you
yes,
know what I'm saying? But like shit like that is where she's not like, oh, he reached in and grabbed me or something. Where he's just
right.
like, yeah, I'm taking a shower, dude, and I see this little kid kicking his fucking feet, and then all of a sudden he's just gone. Yeah, fuck that. And I don't even blame him for being like, yep, new hotel room.
I don't
See ya.
blame her. I would be gone too.
Yeah,
So you think it's residual energy? Like,
I think it could be.
do too.
I think it absolutely could be. It's
So,
like, maybe he just sat there like every day. He sat in that same place, kicking his feet while his mom took a
mm,
shower or something like that. And then, and I've heard stories, where like that people aren't even like dead. Maybe
yeah,
there was like
yeah.
I heard on Hollis Guy again. Shout out to Hollis Guy
Mm,
podcast. They were talking about like this one guy went and he was wearing like a red sweatshirt on this walk every day, and then the guy moved away, but they still saw the guy doing his
mm,
walk in the red sweatshirt. Not like he died; he just moved away.
yeah.
So who knows? And even that could just be a fucking another person in a red sweat.
It
But
could be, but
it's just residual energy and shit like that is something. So actually, here, Jim, I have a little story. Our dad told
yeah.
me a long time ago. Now our dad has passed away, so I don't know if you've heard this story or not. He lived with my aunt Wanda, and they all lived together. But there was a bunch of kids and cousins and blah blah blah, and they lived on the top of this hill in a trailer. So there was this room, and it had two doors going into it on either side of like the wall. So one of the entrances was in the living room. They put a dresser in front of it with a TV. Since they didn't need two entrances to the room, it was the kids'
Mhm.
room, you know?
Yeah.
So all the other adults had gone out to the casino. This was back in Mississippi when the gambling boat was still out. I remember that being a part of the story. And he didn't want to go, or he stayed and decided to watch the kids or whatever, you know. So all the kids they were watching movies, and everybody was asleep around him in the living room. Some was asleep on the floor, on the couch beside him, blah blah blah. And he was sitting there finishing up the movie they were watching while they fall asleep. And all of a sudden, he notices there's a kid standing in the doorway behind the TV, and he's wearing like a striped shirt, how like a old timey, like a yellow shirt with like the red pinstripes, kind of like a older shirt, you know. And when he was a kid type shirt, and he was like, he didn't think anything of it at first. He was like, "Hey, go lay down, Josh." He thought it was my cousin Josh, little blonde boy. And he's like, "Go lay down, Josh." You know what I'm saying? And the kid like turned around, walked back into the room, and he was sitting there watching. He was like, looked down, and Josh was laying beside him asleep. So he gets up and runs into the other room and flips it off, and the room is just empty. It's just the kids' beds and stuff like that. So, and so maybe there's just this boy that lives somewhere. Maybe there was a house up there, or maybe the trailer before there or something, and maybe he was just that was his room or something, or the area or something, and he saw the other kids wanted to play with him or something like that, or so that just shit like that is like I don't know if it's like a haunting per se, because a haunting you feel like is like physical, like touching, moving
Yeah.
something, grabbing something, but that is just you see it. He's just like he was there. It's just the essence of him, you know.
Yeah.
It's
That's
weird, you know.
wild.
That is wild. I didn't know if you'd ever heard that
I've
one. I
never
didn't know
heard
if I'd
that.
ever told you that one or not.
I've not heard that. That is crazy. Love it. Well, moving on here on the list, Howie Mandel also had a counter. Moving on. His home was haunted, apparently. Um, he said, and it sounds like he thinks kind of like we do, where you can keep writing stuff off as coincidence or figment of your imagination, but eventually something just doesn't add up. And he had that experience when his home, harassed by a presence, they say, of that of a bearded man. First, the family's nanny was targeted. The nanny. Um,
Damn,
then
poor
his,
nannies, dude.
I
Fuck being a
know,
nanny.
I know, I will never gonna be a nanny anyway.
Alright,
No,
sorry, you're
really
gonna
not
have
gonna be a
to
nanny.
toss that application out.
Ripping that up. His nanny was targeted first by this bearded man and then his daughter. The events were traumatic enough that Mandel eventually ended up selling the home.
Damn.
That's pretty extreme.
That is, especially if it's attacking your kids, dude. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You can fuck with my nanny, bro. Fuck with that nanny, but you fuck with my kids, I'm suplexing ghosts for sure.
Exactly.
I'm going after somebody.
Mandel said, no deal. No deal. We're about to wrap up the list here, but Ariana Grande, she had
let's go.
That experience with
Oh, you went over one. Oh no, you're back. You're back. My bad. Mine's a little delayed.
In the summer of 2013, she visited Kansas City, Stoll Cemetery here in Missouri.
Nice.
I guess that is known as one of the gates of hell.
Fuck, not nice. Security guards led with that. Yeah. Jesus.
One of the gates of hell. She still visited. She felt sick, overwhelmingly feelings of negativity over the whole car, and she smelled sulfur, which is a sign of a demon. She said, quote, "This is scary, let's leave." Notable quote, I would have said the same thing.
I'm so glad they quoted that. What a quote, dude. That's up there with some, like, Nixon, not Nixon, oh God, what's his, Reagan shit, dude. Yeah. That is some Reagan
JFK speech.
For real.
It's basically fourscore for our generation.
Powerful.
This is scary, let's leave.
Wow.
She also snapped a photo that captured 3 faces of textbook demons. I want to see this picture.
Yeah.
Following the incident, a number of strange occurrences, including loud rumbles, whispers, and shadowy figures, inspired her to delete the photo.
Okay, well, hey, that's creepy.
That worked, yeah. That was pretty crazy.
That is pretty wild. I mean, you know.
What happens when you visit the gate?
She really sold it. I believe her.
I believe it completely.
You know.
Moving on to one of the Jonas Brothers.
Oh God, no!
Joe.
Don't take Joe, dude.
Joe Jonas, he's down with these. He believes that him and his brother attract ghosts. I don't know why that's funny, but it is. It is very funny. He lived in a haunted house with a few roommates back in the day in Los Angeles, he said. And during that time...
He's like, these ghosts fucking want me.
Everybody wants the Jonas.
Everybody wants Joe Jonas.
It doesn't matter.
You fucking little 1600 slave girl, you know you want me. They're like, Joe! Get out of here!
That's just crazy. This is one of the ones I said kind of spooked me out a little bit. He said that the police would show up at the door claiming they gotten calls from the house asking for help. When he and his roommates checked the landline, the phone was unplugged.
Fuck
How
that.
about that? Asking for help.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
No way. Not cool, dude.
And then it gets even crazier is that they moved out. Another celebrity named Olivia Wilde moved in. She bought the house and they moved out pretty quick.
Yep. Well, hold on.
Yep.
Did they just get swatted?
That's possible.
Did they just get swatted? Possible. I mean, they were teen famous.
That's
so
true.
If they're living with roommates, they're adults. They could have possibly just got. I mean, you know.
That's true. I don't know why they don't ignore. Yeah, and this was. Oh no, I would say it was 2022. No, that's when he talked back when they were still fairly new.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's possible.
It wasn't really a big thing back then at all.
Yeah, that's so true.
I don't know.
I love that though. That's skeptical thinking, and it's very possible.
Yeah.
But he did say after he moved out, Olivia Wilde, another celebrity, moved in. She bought the house, and they moved out pretty quickly too.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So that may be why I don't know.
Either way, getting swatted or not, fuck you, I'm moving out.
Absolutely. Got a couple left here. I said that a couple back, but I did 10 in total. Next is Courtney Cox.
Right.
Dude,
fuck that. Hey, come on now.
She says she didn't believe at first in anything supernatural until it happened to her. She said a friend, Carol King, came to her house, said there'd been a divorce that was really ugly, and there was a ghost in that house. And so she said, yeah, whatever, Courtney Cox. Other people would stay there with her and say they felt an encounter with a woman sitting on the edge of the bed. So that was pretty crazy. But then that all changed when a random UPS worker came to her home. Get this. This is the craziest of them all. She was at the house one day, not being a believer. The doorbell rang. It was a UPS guy or something. It's some kind of delivery guy. She opened her door and said, and he said, "Do you know this house is haunted?" Huck said, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, why? Why do you think that?" And he goes, "Because there's someone standing right behind you." And she
Fuck
said, "Let's sell."
that,
That was the
dude.
last thing. She sold the house.
Yeah, no thanks,
Said she
bro.
could never sleep there again alone after that. And isn't that the
Hell
craziest
no.
thing? Someone's standing behind her.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, well, I'm about to kick you in the nuts, dude. Why would you even say that? If I'm a delivery driver and somebody
Right.
opens the door and there's like a fucking ghost behind them, I'm gonna be like, "You need me to sign up?" Nope, boom, boom, I'll shut their own door. Fuck that. Fuck you. I don't want your ghost signatures. I don't want your nothing. I'm not telling. Like that.
I know that one creeped me out, but again, like being skeptic, I'm like, there's something doesn't add up there. How does he know that she doesn't like have with her in the house? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
what?
all right, yeah.
How do you know it was a ghost?
If it's something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's like Ghost Lee, how come you're on like, holy shit?
I know, yeah,
like, you
right.
got a fucking ghost behind you. I'm like,
Exactly.
now did you know your house is haunted? I'd be like, oh my God, there's a fucking ghost behind you.
He'd be like, Shaggy.
You see my feel. For real, dude.
There's a ghost sign here. Press hard, 2 copies.
Anyway.
Exactly. That was pretty crazy. This one, in looking at these, there was a few that was from the White House. I thought that was interesting.
Damn.
White House is supposed to be one of the most haunted places in America.
Imagine.
And actually, Jenna Bush, one of George W. Bush's daughters, said that, and this is a short one, but I'm proud of my graphics. She told that today, you can tell that from the graphic that she heard 1920s piano music clear as day coming out of the fireplace.
Yeah, that's hell.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's where your fucking dad's going, lady. You got some answering to do. Anyway, so yeah, that's crazy. That's super crazy. It's convenient that it was in the White House, wasn't it? I believe that. I believe that.
There's a lot
you know what? If there is, you know what I'm saying? He's just like, sending me through the fire, through the hellfire. He's like sending up the show tunes through the. I think of the robot double from Futurama, how he's like a sarcastic asshole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's like George Bush, sending him up the fucking 1920s music. It's like, oh fuck, it's his ugly daughter. Never mind. No, will you please send your dad in the room? George Bush.
Oh gosh.
My bad. I do not have a lot of love for the Bushes. My apologies.
Yeah, no. That's all right.
That is so terrifying. I would be fucking scared. Evil person, dad or not, I would be terrified if I heard 1920s piano music. Or any music for that matter coming from fire.
No, it's like Drake or something. I'll fuck with that.
Dude, I'm not trying to get a one dance from any fucking fire, dude. I'm trying to not.
Not put his piano. No.
If I hear some banjo, I'll get down a little bit. I'm gonna do just one slide, and then I'll get on out.
Into the fire. That's right.
One slide.
And number 10, for if any of you are Star Wars fans, it's Carrie Fisher, the Princess Leia. Oh, this one was hilarious. She recalled the death of a close friend, someone named Greg Stevens, overdosed in their mansion many years ago. She said she had a
Craig likes to party.
Yeah. She said she had a toy machine that the lights would go on and off, and then when you'd touch it, it would say, fuck you, eat shit, you're an asshole. And it would go off in the night by itself in my closet, she said.
Hell yeah.
Eventually, her friends arranged an exorcist in the house, and that's when things were fine. That was the interesting thing I thought. You do the exorcism and it stops. That kind of assures something weird was going on.
Exorcisms itself are a weird thing because, like, shit like that, I feel like Catholics took Like I feel like
Yeah.
they took it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that shit was like around. You always hear about like the older Spanish people and stuff like that. Here, let me go back to our presentation. But yeah, here we are. We're back. But yeah, I feel like
The Exorcist.
the exorcisms. Yeah, I feel like the Catholics kind of took the exorcisms
Yeah.
from like the pagans, you know, and they went and kind of wiped all that shit out in the accusations, Spanish inquisitions and stuff like that. They just took it was like witch hunts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They just
right.
killed everything, but they were using shit that they were killing people for. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like I don't know, like witchcraft, basically using witchcraft to like kill witches and to find witches and just shit like that. And then they would take some of their stuff and then use them for like and blend it into the Catholic faith, shit like exorcisms and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So they're kind of known for that. Not shitting on Catholics of like everyday normal Catholics. I'm talking about like deep, dark, mystical, hidden, robed figures deep in the Vatican's basements. You know what I'm saying? Your average, normal Vatican's probably just like a decent human being person.
Right.
Well,
Right.
you know, decent as any other person, I suppose.
Exactly.
Is anybody a decent person? But
that's for another show.
yeah, that's a good question.
You know, in going with exorcism, it's not an early exorcism story, but just a quick thing to say. You know, we're talking about our personal experiences, things like. If you asked me at the beginning of the show, like if I had any personal experience, then you know, the more I think about it, I have. It's just one of those things when you're a skeptic, you kind of write everything off,
Right?
and then when you go back and think about it, it didn't quite add up. Well, the house we lived in before this was a rental, middle of town, regular old house. But when we moved in, we always would hear something up in that. It sounded just like around, and we always joked around like, "Oh, it's I'd tell the kids, oh, it's your other sibling up there," you know, like just joke around, you know, right, everybody knows a joke and stuff. But it really sounded like someone up there. We're like, man, someone's like living up there, all this stuff. And so I like nonchalantly mentioned it to my best friend Tim, and he's a very Christian man and all that. And so I told him about it, and he's like, "Do you mind if I bless the house?" I'm like, no, we lived there for months and months. And so he walked around, and I mean, he was forceful, and he said, you know, whatever is here, leave. And in the name of Jesus, leave. I remember him just repeating it and all that. We never heard that again.
Damn,
and I mean, it was a nightly thing. No doubt it was a nightly thing.
That's crazy.
And I mean, we thought maybe raccoons, squirrels, whatever, but why would it stop if it was raccoons?
Raccoons are like, fuck, picking up all this trash. I gotta get out of here. This motherfucker.
Like, you know, what would explain that? Well, then, one other thing I had from that was at that same house is that because we were renting, we would have people come by and fix things on occasion, or you know, house from sent by the owners and things like that. I remember one time some people came to fix our screen door. They had to open the door to get to it and things like that. Well, they came. They were supposed to come. They didn't come, and so I called them and I said, you know, why didn't you guys come? They said, oh, we were told nobody was at the house. They said we opened the door and saw someone sitting on your couch, so we just closed the door and left. And that freaked me out so bad because there's nobody there in the daytime.
Oh, no.
Me and my wife work all day. The kids are in school. There was no one at the house ever. They said we saw legs. I remember them specifically saying, we opened the door, we saw, and because I questioned them, you know, there's nobody there. Oh, we saw legs. They had a blanket on, and there were legs sitting on your. And they said we just saw that and we closed it because we knew no one was supposed to be. Oh my god!
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, man. I never looked at the house the same again.
Hell
like,
no.
So, yeah, just you know, it just goes to show that everybody, it seems like, has some kind of encounter they can't explain.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when like we're kids, we see shit,
Yeah.
and then like you're not only berated as you grow older, like stop seeing this, but I also feel like it is a natural thing that you just quit seeing it so much. For some reason, maybe it's because like in that time you're supposed to be working on your physical material well-being and strength and stuff, and then as you grow older you can start working on the spiritual side of things or something like that. But I feel like when you're a kid, everybody sees something. That's another thing I was going to say when you're asking about why people believe so much at the beginning is I believe the people remember seeing shit that was just hard to explain. But it could just be superstition, It could just be all that damn TV, all that damn Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying?
I see people jacking cars all the time.
Dude, I'm telling you, Bigfoot's not real. I literally beat prostitutes up in video games all day.
That's all it is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think me and Jim have gone on long enough. Unless you have anything else up your sleeves, my good brother.
I think I am dry for the week.
Right on. Well, next week it'll be my turn, and I am very impressed, by the way, with your presentation, both on paper and digital. I thought you did a super fucking good job, and I really got to step it up for next week. I have a fucking busy week ahead of me now, so you guys wish me luck, and I hope I have a heater for you next week. You will find us on the Brothers Dem Podcast YouTube, Brothers Dem Podcast Facebook, Brothers Dem Podcast everything, Instagram, podcast, Brothers Dem Pod at gmail.com. If you want to send us any encounters of your own or anything like that, make sure to give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and all the fun stuff, and tell your grandma specifically. Don't tell anyone else, but tell your grandma.
Maybe your neighbor.
Maybe your neighbor's grandma. Definitely your neighbor's grandma. And if your neighbor's cool, then tell them too.
There you go.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.